Today we're going to focus on finding a job with a degree. So we must ask ourselves, in what ways will a degree facilitate the process of acquiring a job after graduation, and how will other factors influence the decision of our future employers in the business field? Okay, first we must focus on collaboration. What does collaboration mean? When we're transferring from one job to another, we want to have different things that come with us. So in finance, the labor market values the assets and financial operatives take with them from one firm to another. Since assets are certain to an extent shared among coworkers, it is worth hiring business relations and former colleagues or moving in teams. This was a quote from a case study in France by a scientist named Godechaux, and he basically came up with the conclusion that when you work in teams, people want to transfer in teams. Um, Knowledge is seen as an asset. So when you're applying for a job, the more knowledge that you have and the more experience that you have from other places, it is what is going to benefit you. Um, Godechaux values employees' knowledge and connections. So what he came to the conclusion, once again, was that the more knowledge that a person has, the more valuable they are to a potential employer, and the more likely it is a person that will make them get hired. This research was done to apply to finance and marketing sector, so no conclusions can be made to other broad spectrums like fashion or other industries. What this all means is that the connections and collaboration with different corporate entities will facilitate the process of getting a job, like it was stated by Godechaux's study. Another thing that will help us facilitate us in getting a job is experience. Now I'm going to read you a quote by Peter Vaux, a Fastweb columnist from Fastwebs is the website in which specializes in getting into college, and um, he states, whatever major you ultimately choose, definitely supplement it with hands-on experience, internships, co-ops, part-time jobs, volunteering. The number one mistake college students make is leaving school with little or worse, no experience. So what he's basically saying is what we've heard all along. All growing up, we've been told we have to expand ourselves for us to grow as a person. And for us to grow as a person, we have to not be focused on just one thing. We have to have out of school jobs, maybe internships, learning opportunities. Internships are going to be very important in whatever you want to major in. So definitely look into an internship from your major. You want to focus on something that applies definitely to you. If you want to be a business major, you're basically wasting your time by saying I got an internship a doc in a doctor's office. Unless you want to be a secretary for the doctor's office or you want to work in a medical field, that internship is worthless if you're trying to sell a product. And it is necessary that you do not spread yourself too thin. That although it's said not to put all your eggs in one basket, it is necessary here to focus all your means into advancing from your business field. So basically, don't spread yourself too thin. So what do? Not where you come from. It's often seen as a big deal as of where we get our degree from, where we go to school from. We build up with this hierarchy that the better the school, the better the job, the better the pay. And that's all basically BS. Society has built um, a social structure where we have a cookie cutter ideal of success. And what that means is basically that if we get good grades, we're going to get into a better school, and that better school will eventually get us to a better place in life. That degree, or that school, wherever it says, whether it's Harvard, Yale, Princeton, NYU, Columbia, that's all it do. That's basically lie. It was a case study done by Washington Post, and they basically came to the conclusion that the places where the most people are hired from are not Ivy Leagues, they're not upper tier schools. It came down to Penn State, Texas A&M, the University of Illinois, Purdue, and Arizona State, and that's where the most people are hired from. That's where all the money's going. Um, then a commonly accepted notion is that I'm going to once read you a quote. I'm going to read you a quote by Flag Gilliam Park. Another case study by them. A commonly accepted notion is that the highest ranked schools produce the candidates with the greatest potential for high quality publications. Our results, however, find that publications or revisions in top tier journals during the doctoral program are a stronger measure of potential research productivity than the school attended. Flag Gilliam Park measured the productivity of PhDs, graduates, and how much work they published after they graduated, and they came to the conclusion that in fact the school that they went to did not matter. It was more of what they did that actually did. Now we're back to where we started. Before, it was always seen as soon as we get out of school, we want to get a job, and that this we will ultimately be more productive getting a job out of school. And it is what we thought to be we were growing out of that. We're starting to slide back into that way of life where people, as soon as they get out of school or high school, they want to get a job. So in some places like Australia, the workforce is seeing a shift from education to work in a dramatic manner. This is a quote from Australia's federal government. The federal government's first national report on applications, offers, and acceptances at universities showed that strong labor demand was creating well-paid jobs that people didn't need a tertiary education to fill. Tertiary means college education. The report showed that a number of Year 12 students who left school and went into the workforce was increasing up from 23% in 2001 to 30.2% in 2011. More people are leaving to get a job right away where you're guaranteed well pay instead of going to school 4 years, investing so much money to be promised a job, but it's never really for certain if we're gonna get it. In average, people spend around from $30,000 to $120,000 in undergraduate education just to have to pay it all back. But again, it's also all relative with your degree that you're gonna get from those $30,000 to $120,000 that you spend, because certain jobs are always going to be in more need than others. Degrees vary in relevance according to society's current needs. So always we're going to have nurses are going to be preferred over an archaeologist. But then again, oil specialists now are very important, while another career in the future might be what is more sought after. So in conclusion, this leads us to the conclusion leads us to my question, that is that a business degree will in fact strongly help in finding a job, but it is not the sole determining factor. There are limitless possibilities to get a financial destination, that is, to get to the final destination, that is post-secondary education and employment.